Good morning to all. So we were doing group 15 elements out of the P block elements. We have done the hydrides, oxides and oxoacids of particularly nitrogen out of the group 15 elements. In this video we'll be doing the oxoacids of phosphorus. There are 8 important oxoacids of phosphorus which are as far as your syllabus is concerned. So these are the 8 acids. You have to memorize all these acids, the name, the oxidation state of central element, the basicity, the structure and the anhydride, the corresponding anhydride of these acids. I'll be telling you the tricks to memorize these oxoacids in the next video. I'll be in the tricks, all the things will be covered, like oxidation, how to know the oxidation state, how to know the basicity, how to draw the structure and the name and the corresponding anhydride. We'll discuss the structure in detail in that video. Just the idea that what is there in the structure, that whenever we have the oxoacids of phosphorus, oxoacid means that some element of which the oxoacid is there is attached to oxygen, which is further attached to hydrogen. That linkage is always there. If we consider we are doing the oxoacids of phosphorus, that means POH bond is always there. At least one POH group is there where the central element is attached directly to oxygen, which is further attached to hydrogen, which is ionizable. That is why, due to this presence of this bond, these are called as oxoacids of phosphorus. In addition to this, in case of oxoacids of phosphorus, P double bond O group is always there. This functionality is always there in all the acids. At least one functionality, that is at least one P double bond O linkage is there in a oxoacid of phosphorus. Also, there is a tetrahedral arrangement of atoms, or we can say bonds, around phosphorus, whether it be double bond or single bond. There is always 4 groups present around phosphorus which are arranged tetrahedrally in an oxoacid of phosphorus. So these 3 things are definitely there in any of the oxoacids. The other details we'll be discussing in the next video, which will definitely help you to memorize these oxoacids, as these are very important as far as your exams are concerned, competitions are concerned. So further we'll be discussing the preparations, physical and chemical properties which are important for these oxoacids. We are starting with the first oxoacid, which is hypophosphorus acid. The formula is H3PO2, in which phosphorus is in +1 oxidation state. It is prepared from the oxidation of phosphine using iodine. In the presence of water, we'll get hypophosphorus acid and hydrogen iodide. Physical properties includes, it is colorless crystalline solid which is soluble in water. Almost all the oxoacids of phosphorus are having this physical property, that these are white to colorless crystalline solids which are soluble in water, and these are very low boiling. Boiling point is always less than 100 degrees Celsius. It is in the range of 40 to 70 for all the oxoacids of phosphorus. So these all are white to colorless crystalline solids which are soluble in water. Now coming to the chemical properties, if we want to discuss the acidic character, it is monobasic. Monobasic means that which the basicity of any acid is clear, any oxoacid is clear from its structure, that if the number of OH groups are equivalent to its basicity. If there is one OH group, that means its basicity is 1 and it is a monobasic acid. Basicity 1 means it is having one ionizable hydrogen in its structure. So H3PO4 is having one ionizable hydrogen. It can ionize to give H positive and H2PO2 negative. So it is monobasic acid. Action of heat on all the oxoacids of phosphorus is very important. You will have to memorize all these reactions. Action of heat on all the oxoacids. Action of heat is done in 2 ways. on the oxo acids of phosphorus. That is, when we heat any oxo acid of phosphorus, it is going to either disproportionate, like here the hypophosphorus acid when heated at 40 degrees Celsius, it is undergoing disproportionation, that is, it is undergoing decomposition to two other compounds of phosphorus, in which oxidation of phosphorus is lesser than the earlier situation, and in the other compound it is higher. So it is undergoing disproportionation reaction, or it can undergo dehydration reaction, that is removal of water. Here it is undergoing disproportionation on heating. Also, if it is heated above 60 degrees Celsius, then we get phosphine plus, this is phosphoric acid, and if we are heating it at 40 degrees Celsius, we are getting phosphine and plus phosphorus acid. Next is, it can be used as good reducing as well as oxidizing agent. Whenever it is getting reduced, that means it is used as oxidizing agent, it gets reduced to pH3 means phosphine, and whenever it acts as oxidizing agent, whenever it acts as reducing agent, that means it is getting oxidized, and it gets oxidized to phosphoric acid in general. Next acid which we are going to discuss is phosphorus acid. But before that, I want to mention one thing, that whenever something can be used as reducing as well as oxidizing agent, that means it is not, that particular compound is not in the highest or the lowest oxidation state of that compound. Means as we know that highest oxidation of phosphorus is +5. Then if some acid is having highest +5 oxidation state, with phosphorus having +5 oxidation state, that means it can be used as oxidizing agent, but it cannot be used as reducing agent. Why it cannot be used as reducing agent? Because while undergoing the reducing action, it itself gets oxidized, but there is no possibility of getting it oxidized higher than +5 oxidation state. So at that particular place, it cannot be used as oxidizing agent whenever something is in its highest oxidation state, and it cannot be used as reducing agent if it is having it cannot be used as oxidizing agent. It cannot be used as reducing agent if it is in its highest oxidation state. That means it cannot be further oxidized. So next acid is phosphorus acid. Formula is H3PO3. Phosphorus is in +3 oxidation state. It is prepared by the action of water on either trichlorides or trioxides of phosphorus. Whenever trichloride or trioxide is reacted with water, we get phosphorus acid. This is the formula of phosphorus acid, H3PO3. Here phosphorus is in +3 oxidation state. Physical properties includes, it is white, deliquescent, crystalline solid which is soluble in water. As it will be clear from the structure that it is a dibasic acid, we can ionize, it can produce 2 ionizable protons. Acidic character, action of heat and action of water are very important, 3 very important chemical properties which are to be memorized by you for the examination point of view. It can be used as strong reducing agent and easily oxidizes to phosphoric acid. So phosphorus acid can get oxidized to phosphoric acid and acts as a strong reducing agent. Next acid is hypophosphoric acid, which formula is H4P2O6, in which phosphorus is in +4 oxidation state. Preparation, it is prepared from red phosphorus, where it gets reacted with sodium chlorite in the presence of water, and we get sodium salt of hypophosphoric acid, which further reacted with an ion exchange resin, where sodium ions got replaced with H positive ions and we get hypophosphoric acid. Action of heat on the hypophosphoric acid, on the action of heat we get mixture of phosphorus acid and metaphosphoric acid. When it is hydrolyzed, it gives us phosphorus acid and phosphoric acid. Coming to the acidity, it is tetrabasic acid which can ionize in a series of reactions to give 4 protons, and finally we get P2O6 4 negative. Next acid to be discussed is phosphoric acid, which is H3PO4. It is also called as orthophosphoric acid. In this acid, phosphorus is in +5 oxidation state. It is prepared from phosphorus pentoxide by the action of water. When it is heated till boiling, then the impurity of which is formed along, that is metaphosphoric acid, can be removed and we'll get pure phosphoric acid. Physical properties, again it is white, deliquescent, crystalline solid which is soluble in water. Coming to the chemical property, on the action of heat, if we heat phosphoric acid in the presence, at 250 degrees Celsius, we'll get pyrophosphoric acid. Here it is getting dehydrated to give pyrophosphoric acid, which further upon heating gives us metaphosphoric acid. Or we can say when it is heated to higher temperature, that is 600 degrees Celsius, what we get is metaphosphoric acid. It is tribasic acid, that means 3 ionizable protons can be produced. Phosphoric acid or orthophosphoric acid is the only acid in which hydrogen bonding is present, and due to this hydrogen bonding, it turns syrupy in texture. It doesn't remain solid, it turns syrupy in nature due to the presence of hydrogen bonding. Next acid is pyrophosphoric acid. Formula is H4P2O7. Oxidation state is +5. It is prepared from phosphoric acid. When it is heated at 250 degrees Celsius, we get pyrophosphoric acid, as we just discussed in the chemical properties of phosphoric acid, that when we heat it to 250 degrees Celsius, we get pyrophosphoric acid. The formula of each acid will be confusing you at this time, but I assure you will be able to memorize it once I tell you the trick that we'll be discussing in the next video. This acid, pyrophosphoric acid, this is slightly stronger acid than phosphoric acid. This is the only acid which is stronger than phosphoric acid out of the oxyacids of phosphorus. Coming to the chemical properties, with boiling water, it gives back phosphoric acid. It is prepared by the reaction by the heating of phosphoric acid at 250 degrees Celsius. We get pyrophosphoric acid, and when we react, and there is a release of water, and when we react this acid with boiling water, we get back what we get back is we get back phosphoric acid. This is an important property, chemical property of this pyrophosphoric acid. It is also a tetrabasic acid, which will be clear from its structures. Action of heat, when it is heated at 600 degrees Celsius, we have already discussed that when it is heated at 600 degrees Celsius, what we get is we get metaphosphoric acid, that is HPO3, where phosphorus is in +5 oxidation state. Next acid to be discussed is metaphosphoric acid. Metaphosphoric acid is HPO3 with phosphorus in +5 oxidation state. It is prepared from either pyrophosphoric acid or phosphoric acid, which are heated at 600 degrees Celsius. Then we get metaphosphoric acid, and also we get metaphosphoric acid if we react P4O10, that is phosphorus pentoxide, with water. Then we get metaphosphoric acid as impurity in the synthesis of phosphoric acid. Action of heat, whenever we heat metaphosphoric acid, we get P2O5. Here dehydration is taking place, we are getting anhydride of metaphosphoric acid, so P2O5 is called as anhydride of metaphosphoric acid. Action of water: whenever metaphosphoric acid is reacted with water, we get phosphoric acid. The interesting fact about this acid is that it doesn't exist as simple monomer. It forms two types of polymers. First is chain polymer, second are the cyclic polymers. This is the structure of chain polymer. Here you can see that phosphorus is in having tetrahedral arrangement of bonds or groups around it. P double bond O is always present, POH linkage is always present, and oxygen bridges are there, which are forming long chain. The formula is HPO3 whole N. N molecules of HPO3, that is metaphosphoric acid, forms this chain. These are straight chain isomer, and other are the cyclic. In cyclic form, it exists in the form of trimer and tetramer. In case of trimer, alternate phosphorus and oxygen are present arranged in a regular hexagon, and each phosphorus is further bonded to one oxygen with double bond and one OH group, which are mandatory for phosphorus being oxo acid. In case of tetramer, 4 phosphorus are present in which oxygen bridges are bonded. This also forms an hexagon shape with 4 phosphorus and 4 oxygen in the cyclic connected to each other in a cyclic fashion, and each phosphorus is bonded to P double bond O and OH group. Next acids are the peroxomonophosphoric acid and peroxodiphosphoric acid. These acids are also important from the point of view of their basicity, oxidation state, name, structure, oxidation state, preparation, chemical properties and physical properties, or the preparations are not of much concern about these acids, but you will have to memorize the formula, the name, the structure, basicity, oxidation state, preparations, action of heat and action of water on these acids, as far as I have discussed in this. Next topic is halides of group 15 elements. Generally, two types of halides are formed by group 15 elements, that is trihalide with general formula MX3, where X represents the halide, M represents the group 15 element, and pentahalides. All the group 15 elements form trihalides. They are having pyramidal structure just like hydrides of group 15 elements, with one lone pair and 3 groups. This here central element is sp3 hybridized. All the trihalides are covalent except for the BiF3, bismuth trifluoride, which is the only ionic trihalide known so far. All the trihalides are easily hydrolyzed, but they react differently with water. Hydrolysis means reaction with water. So these trihalides react with water to give different products, like nitrogen trichloride gives ammonia when reacted with water, PCl3 gives phosphorus acid, arsenic chloride gives its oxide, antimony and bismuth reacts with water, they react partially with water to give oxychlorides. Also, the trihalides of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony act as Lewis acids, as these reacts with the Lewis bases and gives us these following compounds. Here X can be any halides. PCl3 is the most important trihalide out of the trihalides of group 15 elements, which gives very interesting reactions. It reacts with Cl2 to give PCl5, which is pentachloride of phosphorus. It reacts with oxygen to give phosphorus oxychloride. It also gives substitution reaction with organic compounds as shown here. Now coming to the pentahalides. Pentahalides are sp3 dehybridization. They exist in trigonal bipyramidal geometry. This is a trigonal bipyramidal geometry which is occupied by all the pentahalides. These are thermally less stable than the trihalides. PCl5 exists as these are thermally less stable because these exist as ionic compounds, crystalline compounds, also PCl5 exists as PCl4 positive, PCl6 negative. Similarly, PBr5 exists as PBr4 positive, PBr6 negative in solid state. Pi5 exists as Pi4 positive, I negative in solid state. So due to this, they are thermally unstable, less stable in comparison to the trihalides. Out of all the pentahalides, PCl5 is the most important pentahalide of group 15 elements, which gives very interesting reactions. It decomposes to give PCl3 on heating. It reacts with water to give oxychloride of phosphorus, and when PCl5 is reacted with excess of water, this is an important preparation of phosphoric acid. We get phosphoric acid when PCl5 is reacted with excess of water. PCl5 also gives substitution reactions just like PCl3, just like the substitution reactions we discussed for PCl3, that it gives substitution reactions for organic compounds. So with this, the discussion about group 15 elements, this is all about group 15 elements. The things which we have discussed, you will have to cover all the topics which we have discussed in the videos. These are, I have shortened many things out of the book. So if you do cover all these things which we have discussed in the videos, that will be sufficient for your examination point of view. That is it for group 15 elements. In the next video, we'll be discussing about tricks for oxy acids of nitrogen and phosphorus. Thank you so much.